lot of the times because I feel like everybody dogs this guy, and I still think he's nice with it. We'll see, though, if Goblin can take his first set on Cosmos here at Collision 2024.
Yeah, it feels like Cosmos is just like, he always gets to the bad breaks going for him. Case in point, Foresight gets you out of danger, right into the sweet spot of double edge dance. It's like sometimes you just get the unlucky breaks, but that doesn't stop him from being an incredibly skilled player and one that is incredibly dedicated as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Slow start so far for both characters that I think go a little bit faster, right? Both of these characters love to kind of overwhelm their opponent with a lot of neutrals, but here we go. So far, I mean, I like the way that Goblin is essentially just trying to shark underneath, right? Mythra loves to kind of jump and get these aerials, but now we are going to see off stage just a little bit. Beautiful reversal here. Love the down special here. Can we get something else going? But it will be Pyra grabbing that ledge.
That is some massive magnet hands going on for Cosmos, because without a jump on Mythra stuck that far away from the stage, you have to be really concerned about just the loss of your stock in that moment. Mythra can really struggle off stage, especially if Goblin wants to push the envelope a little bit, but he seems to be taking things with a little bit of respect, choosing to instead rely on Roy's raw kill power thanks to those incredibly potent sweet spots.
I think. Ooh, got the crowd kind of like oohing, and so us for us. Well, unfortunately, while Magnet Hands worked in the first time that Cosmos recovered, the second time we didn't see it as much. Trying to read the getup onto the platform, and does, but unable to get the stock here. Huge advantage for Goblin if we're able to start getting some of these combos here, right? And I love the way that Goblin is actually chasing down Cosmos off stage. If we know anything about the Aegis, is that if you're not careful, that recovery, not forgiving at all.
Ooh, the up tilt coming after the air dodge off of the platform there from Goblin. I do like how he's integrating a little bit of an iota of patience within his combos, just waiting to see what Cosmos does as a defensive option in order to maximize damage, turning what could be 30% combos into 45. And thus, he's got a solid lead here going into it. The spot dodge and down tilt, maybe a little bit eager with that read, though.
Yeah, sometimes you're feeling it, but sometimes you got to recognize when you're feeling it a little bit too much here. Still, though, getting a little bit of these awkward interactions, right? We're not seeing those full fluid combos from either player. Instead, we're just trying to kind of outsmart each other, right? So now, once again, back into neutral here. Goblin kind of trying to poke the bear here with the down tilt, but here comes Cosmos, gets the grab, and the up tilt up air going for the second one, but I love the jump away by Goblin. At least for the moment here, we'll be able to grab ledge, at least for the moment.
Ooh, that was such a nice parry on the part of Cosmos. I think, again, Goblin, both players going for some massive reads and some massive swings, but they're swinging at air, just barely whipping some of these dodges. Both characters can be so fast, which can mean they can get out of danger just as quickly as they get into it if the opponent is a little bit too antsy, which both of them trying to get a little bit whelmed here as we are swinging at center stage. A great up smash out of shield. Awareness that that was a jab and not a down tilt, which is much, much safer, but jab can also lead into that back air, and taking that stock immediately as Goblin. Last stock in this game number one here, Lyric.
This is one of my favorite types of matches, right? Where both players are playing aggressively, but they're playing smart, right?
Yeah.
Still, though, going to be able to find both stocks, and once again, just trying to read each other. I think in a best of 5, it's always important to know that when you're able to adapt to your opponent, that's when you become strongest here. The forward smash does not connect, but Goblin, unfortunately, going to miss a couple of attacks here, so that gives Cosmos, excuse me, the opening here that he really needs.
Yeah, really trying to keep Goblin pinned in the corner. First time utilizing that Blazer out of shield, something that Goblin is pretty infamous for doing a lot since it's armored, and having an out of shield option is super nice. Keeps keeping a lot of tricks in his bag as we go into what is potentially going to be a long set.
Yeah, absolutely. Long for sure. There's the down smash there. Cosmos has not telegraphed that the entire time. Another down smash, but it will not take the stock just yet.
No jump.
I love the way that Cosmos stays on Mythra for as long as possible. I think a lot of the times, Aegis players, they switch on over to Pyra at these moments, right? But will be able to find the up air, unable to find the stock, has to go in for the finisher here. Goblin gonna be able to grab the ledge, beautifully spaced F tilt. It's not going to be enough though, but there it is. Up tilt will be taking game 1 for Cosmos.
Yeah, and that's a true block string there, Lyric, where you see the falling back air. You're safe enough to throw out an up tilt, so Goblin has to either keep holding block or just roll away. There's nothing that he could have done. Actually, correction on that. He could have blazered out of shield there and utilized the armor to power through this up tilt coming out from Cosmos. So keep some awareness of your out of shield options, but it seemed like Goblin, because he dropped shield there and walked forward, he might have been hunting for a parry on the back air instead and just was a little bit too late.
Okay, going on over to Town and City here. I like the kind of the versatile stage picks because I think both of these characters do benefit off of, you know, the same type of stage here, right? They both want long-winded combos. Loving the way that Goblin also just went all the way out there. Once again, recognizes the character, but look at all of these nairs going for the ledge jump, but it's actually going to kind of bite him in the behind for at least the moment here. So beautiful spot dodges here. Is once again, Ubel, we're seeing just so many of, you know, like touch and go combos.
Yeah, very much a hit and run from both sides here, but when it comes to Town and City and you just have access to this as a counter pick, while it really does work out for Aegis a lot of times, Roy is so devastating here. I completely respect Cosmos for playing to his win conditions, which is Mythra's blazing speed. Oh, but all of that power coming from the double-edged dance instantly makes a reversal of fortune for Goblin, instantly giving him the lead.
Yeah, the rage definitely coming into play there too, right? I mean, you're above 100. It's Town and City, small sides, which is why we're here, right? Going to be able to find it again as now Cosmos taking his sweet time coming down from that platform. Definitely agree with it here. Go down air into the, I believe that was back air here from Mythra. Going for the down smash, unable to find it. Roll through into the F smash. Looking good from both players still. It's still toe for toe.
Yeah, one is never enough to, one is never far enough behind that they can't catch up immediately, and that just seems to be the type of game. I love that reversal on the neutral B coming out from Cosmos, setting up for an edge guard, but just going a little bit too early. You had a Roy in a position for edge guard. That's exactly where you want him, but maybe Cosmos' willingness to stay on Mythra, biting him in the butt just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Certain decisions here. Good get up attack into the dash attack. Once again, I can't stress enough how much I love the fact that Cosmos is just sticking on this Mythra as much as possible until it's go time, right? And I think that's kind of a sign of a really good Aegis player here. Still, though, coming back into this neutral. Go finding the aerial and now needs to find the edge guard. Looking for the down air, unable to find it. Beautiful parry though by Goblin, unable to get the jab follow up though, so we gotta keep going here. Back into neutral, and I love the way that Goblin's just stopping, right? Saying, you know what, let me see what you do first. Prominence revolt though, actually going to benefit Goblin here because of the stage of Town and City.
Massive corners, but hey, you're 150. If not for being full stage, every character can drop from that up the out of shield. Super tough moment, but Cosmos still has to find a ways to close out the stock. Is playing so careful, but then Goblin sweeps in down near 30% or more and is just able to find that stock before Cosmos thanks to some crafty offense.
Yeah, speaking of crafty, just the movement off stage, definitely a little bit crafty, right? Waiting for the opportune moment here, unable to find like the big sweet spots, but even the weak spots here, tossing Cosmos all the way out here, punishing for Cosmos also for landing with the nair with the down special here. Going to be able to grab ledge, at least for the moment here, but Cosmos unable to get this stop, and on Aegis especially, this is detrimental. You definitely do not want to be giving Roy this much of a lead.
He gave it up.
He gave it up.
Like, come on, you know, prominence, like just let him do it. It's fine. Oh, and the foresight, finding the bar backer after that, but no extension. Maybe kind of accommodating for the platform, accommodating for the rage. Either way, Cosmos needs to dominate the game state for a good while here in order to make sure that he is in a prime position and not going to let Goblin find another way to steal a game.
Still, though, finds the forward air here. Interested to see what the edge guard is going to be from Goblin. I love the way that he just kind of ran up. Now, granted, great by Cosmos to just throw out the flame over here. But still, gotta find it. Punishing the switch, though. Unable to get the stock just yet, but look at Goblin kind of navigating around the platforms here. Cosmos so close here to bringing this back. We'll be able to find the reversal here. Down smash not going to be enough just yet. And both players just looking for their one sign, but it will be the dash attack that does set Goblin back into the set 1-1.
Yo, and the hit confirm off the sour jab as well, sending it such an awkward spot. You get the sweet spot, you can confirm into jab, as we have seen many times, but getting the sour spot and you're able to turn that into a stock in the own right just from following up off the tech chase.
Right.
And I really want to, oh, and he's popping off, as he should.
Feeling it, man.
Val, you look at it.
Feeling it. Listen, I cast another game now where players are just like, yay, like, I'll be like, dude, you won that set. How do you feel? And they're like, good. And it's like, come on, I need to see it here. What do you think about us going back to Town and City?
I think with Cosmos, he doesn't dislike Town and City due to the incredible range that Mythra can provide on this stage. You're never out of reach from any character thanks to Mythra just having some of the best mobility in the game. So you'll give Goblin rather the edge in terms of kill power because he already has that. You need to dominate the neutral.
Yeah. Still though, so far, it's just kind of the, I like what you were saying earlier, the hit and run combos essentially, right? Just kind of the, hey, let me find it, and if I can't fill the combo all the way to fruition, let me just try again. Still though, a couple dash attacks coming out from Cosmos, and finds the forward smash here, essentially putting a lid over Goblin's momentum for the moment.
And I really like that early start here from Cosmos. Like, you had spent game number 2 finding a lot of meaningless hits in some like back hits of back hits of down smash rather, and some dash attacks and things like that that don't lead into anything. But this game, he is finding meaningful and powerful offense, locking down Goblin into the corner here for a 80 to the tune of now 95%. This is the type of Aegis that we think of when we think of overwhelming and oppressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Cosmos is doing an amazing job of just reading the way that Goblin was getting up, half that kind of like interaction there, that Goblin was forced to just jump off the corner and just get back to center stage. But we can even see right now, even going all the way out there, you're not even safe here. Still though, up tilt not even going to be enough here, as we got to look at the percentages and look at the stock. Already onto Pyra here, looking for the up tilt, unable to find it. The aerial not going to be enough though. Once more, Town and City coming into play. And now it's all on Cosmos. How do we get this stock? I love how we switch back to Mythra, but instead the down tilt goes just under the Mythra up smash.
And she just picks her foot up just a little bit, able to whip out on that down tilt from Roy. But man, it's looking dire here for double sour spot too on Roy. That is tough for Goblin. Typically you can confirm any sour spot into a sweet spot. Just kind of rough goings here. Up throw? No, not on Town and City. You're gonna have to win neutral again or find any sort of hit here while Cosmos is stuck in the corner.
Yeah, the thing is, I just love the way that Cosmos was so comfortable standing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Chilling.
Saying, you know what, I have a whole stock lead. What could possibly go wrong? Finds the up smash and will get the stock even with 0% range. You got it. And now Goblin essentially has to play cat and mouse with Cosmos, who is more than okay than to just kind of use Mythra's speed to run away. But I mean, look at this, right? Cosmos finding an opening and still is able to push the problem here. And now it's all up to Goblin to find just a little bit more than some of these sour spots.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be something big here. You're gonna have to put all of the utility and all of the items that you have gained to the test here in this game number 3, or play the long game, understand that this is a best of 5 set, and play more for information. Like, both can be true, and both you can have 2 ideas here going into the end of this game number 3 to try and give you the best chance of win in the set going forward. Might be to really stress test Cosmos and see how he reacts to some more awkward inputs.
Absolutely. Still though, this game is looking very much in Goblin's favor, or very much in Cosmos' favor, excuse me. Love just going all the way out there. No way that Goblin is going to recover there, and it will be Cosmos going up in the set 2-1. Such a more confident game coming out from Cosmos, right? We're talking about Mythra combos that just make you so frustrated, keep you very, very stuck in the blender, and that is essentially what Cosmos did practically the entire time. It felt like Goblin was just getting juggled around.
Yeah, just constantly forced off the spot by Cosmos' well-adept management of the burst range. And all you need to do most of the time as Mythra is understand where your opponent's threat bubble is and make them feel like it's not big enough. That can force your opponent into kind of brazen overshoots like Goblin just did, trying to set the tone here in game number 4 and give himself a chance, but at the same time, that put him in the same position that he's just in.
Yeah, I love the way that Goblin also recovering high in that moment. Still though, I mean, it's looking all Cosmos here. There's the down throw into the up special once more. And now once again, just the stop and wait, saying, hey, wait, I'm gonna wait for you to approach, right? Goblin is kind of telegraphing that he's a little bit frustrated, right? Wants to come in with that nair, and honestly, it's the way that Cosmos is playing defense, right? Staying a little bit more back and then saying, you know what, I'm going to react to you, and it's working out really well.
Oh, are we gonna see any sort of, no 2-frame there on this down tilt. Production, when you have the chance, I would really love it if you could clip just one of these long-standing instances of neutral. I really want to talk about how well Cosmos is playing around Goblin's burst range on top of once again, the game 1 winner, that back air into up tilt, knowing that Goblin gets a little antsy.
I love the way that Cosmos is so comfortable backing himself into a corner, knowing that Goblin is running at him, right?
Yeah.
He's waiting for the right opportunity. He is able to find it, but now here we go, back into neutral here. Goblin trying to find a way in, but it's so tricky when Cosmos is playing from behind just a little bit, right? Able to find the up tilt here, so now we're just kind of swinging for the fences for both players. Down tilt into the neutral B, and now we're going to try and get a stock here. Once again, Cosmos has taken this lead, and with just the pure amount of patience, we're able to just kind of keep it pushing without putting ourselves too much in danger, even at 134%.
This is exactly what both you and I are talking about, Lyric. Like, that entire instance came from an idea that Cosmos was understanding just what Goblin wanted to do in terms of range and aggression, and he's turning that into power by simple dash back game plan and pure coverage. Mythra dominating half of the stage with pure speed, and Goblin can't land, can't get back to ledge, and can't do anything but lose that stock. He's able to find a revenge stock, but down 2 stocks to 1 at this point, Lyric. It's another tall task ahead of Goblin to make sure this game goes his way.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one player that can do it, it's definitely Goblin, right? The Photon Edge coming out there beautifully, though both players trying to grab. Will not be able to do it. Magnet Hands will be able to save Cosmos here. And now, once again, we're back to this neutral kind of defensive play, right? I'm waiting for you to come in. I'm waiting for you to jump in, trying to get something started here. The roll back into stage, a little bit of these footsies here coming out from both players now. Goblin trying to figure out the best way to approach here, but it's super difficult. Finds the up air though, and I have to say, Ubel, just a lot of these sour spots hurt the soul if you're a Goblin fan.
Yeah, you're always, a very strange pop out, but one that Cosmos trying to find an opportunity from. Another sour spot back air, but this time it turned into a check chase. Goblin still doing his best to understand the situation and turn it to its favor, but the down tilt into up air, and then switch right back to Mythra, trying for the edge guard. Cosmos not doing anything less than pressing on the gas.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And it may not even look as aggressive, right? Still, though, able to find the dash attack here. We could be seeing Goblin lose this stock, and he will. It will be Cosmos moving forward in winners. 3-1, man. That was such a great set to start us off, Ubel. I know you want to talk about some neutral interactions. I would love for you to take us through it.
Yeah. That... Shout out.
Thanks, production.
All right, so it's this right here, the dash back, this range. This range right here is so beautiful for Cosmos because he understands that Goblin, time and time again, wants to be the aggressor, wants to compensate for Mythra's speed by overshooting and overcoming that by either running at him or jumping at him with a very safe aerial, in this case, the falling up air. But because you're compensating for that space, Mythra is able to always be one step out of range from Goblin's range, marked by this red circle. Meanwhile, Mythra, her range can be all the way out here because of pure speed. She can cover all of this space with just something like a dash attack. And even if it's not going too much, you can win these interactions by simply encroaching onto your space, then dashing back, always staying at the edge of these ranges and dictating the tempo based on how you want to play. It was so good of managing that burst range and turning it into effective offense.
I don't want to hear anything about it. I said this yesterday. I do not want to hear anything about analytical commentary in Smash. You just get it. Micro interactions, ranges. Yeah. We love to see it.
And it doesn't even have to be stock-taking set wins or like these massive plays, while as cool as those are. And I'm always down to see some really hype combos and conversions. But little things like that in a game where you're playing two characters of similar archetypes, little wins like, oh, I'm managing my burst range and then circumventing that by running in and grabbing you, that's so much on the mind of Goblin that he just has to compensate for at all times with pure proficiency in play.
Absolutely. Really good stuff. A really good set, and I love the way that you're breaking it down in terms of just, at the end of the day, it wasn't big combos, right? It wasn't awe-inspiring, Twitter clip combos, but instead it just came down to two players playing at their best in terms of the neutral. Yeah. Really, really good stuff from both players. And once again, it will be Cosmos moving on, and now 5-0 over Goblin. My goodness.
That's a pretty good.
We'll
also,
see what they
play
next year.
For that, by the way. Thank you so much to production for being able to clip and manage all of this here. Shout outs to Devin and House of 3000. But our next set coming up will be another
big, heavy dose of neutral. It's going to be DeBuzz and Antimony coming up to play.
My carpool buddy, me and DeBuzz last night.
Right, yeah, I forgot you mentioned that.
Yo, there's nothing crazier than going to an Applebee's and then seeing, DeBuzz, and he's like, you guys going back to the hotel?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, can I have a ride? Like, of course.
enjoyed
I've
some
known DeBuzz
mozzarella
for a long
sticks, I
time,
heard.
though. Yeah, oh, God. Those mozzarella sticks were butt. Hated them. Still, though, DeBuzz, of course, as you guys know him, I expect the Twitch chat to just immediately go up in flames right
please.
now. I love the way that DeBuzz has kind of grown over the years, right?
Yeah, he's
if you
great.
were around in Smash 4, the fan base was not here for DeBuzz.